Our travel rules. Plan as early as possible to save on costs. Book a flight as far out in advance as possible. Book accommodations in advance to get a fantastic selection. Get accommodations that are within walking distance of the city center or the tourist area that you're going to be visiting. Stay for an extended period of time to get a discounted rate. Research the area so that we can DIY activities to save money. Stay in cities or countries during the low season or the shoulder season to save on costs. Travel together to save on expenses. So that's it. So stay tuned to see what happened on our trip.
Hello and welcome. I am Trenise West, and this is my husband, Kevin. We recently retired, and our channel is all about our retirement journey, our travels across the U.S. and throughout the world. Join us on our adventures. Belize is located next to Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras. It is a hidden gem nestled in Central America, where the Caribbean Sea meets lush rainforests. There are Mayan ruins and the incredibly beautiful Belize Barrier Reef. It was once a British colony, so they speak English, which made it a lot easier to navigate around because you don't have the language barrier. In this video, we will look at how we got to Belize and our experiences while visiting this country.
Well, did we break all of the rules? No, not all of them. We did follow two rules. I looked for the least expensive place that we could go on a last minute trip and that we could get there in one day. Also, when we settled on Belize, I did check to see if the area that we were going to be staying in, Belize, was a safe area to stay. So we actually did very little planning for this trip. I was visiting friends and family in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Kevin was in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Now, we do the majority of our trips together because it's cheaper for us to only pay for one set of accommodations versus paying for us to stay in two different places. Now, this wasn't so bad because I was staying in Charlotte for free with family and friends. And then Kevin wanted to go back to Playa del Carmen again to visit that part of Mexico. Now, we had been there in the spring, so I wasn't particularly thrilled about going back again so soon. And so I went to Charlotte. Now, we do occasionally travel separately based on our individual interests. And so in some of our videos, you may see me traveling solo or him. And most of the time, of course, it would be the two of us together. Why did we decide to take this last minute trip and break all these rules? Well, it was our anniversary. Our anniversary was coming up, and we hadn't had an opportunity to plan for it. So we decided to do a special trip to celebrate 33 years of marriage. I can't believe it. It went so fast. So we literally threw this trip together in 1 week. So Kevin traveled from Playa del Carmen, Mexico to Belize, and we will share the information on just how he did it. Now, I traveled from the USA to Belize, and I thought that my trip would be the easiest, but not so fast. That's the thing with travel, there's always hiccups. So, here's Kevin's portion of the trip.
What's going on, everyone? K West here. I want to explain to you how I took a flight down into Cancun, Mexico, left Cancun, made a stop in Playa del Carmen, and then caught up with Trenise and Belize. Here we go. All right, pro tip one, make sure that you get the ADO app and download that first to your phone. You can find it on the Google or Apple Play Store. Make sure you set your account up so that you can buy your ticket in advance. If you prefer to wait until you're a little closer to until you get to Mexico, that's fine. Or you can buy your ticket at the airport. You can use cash, pesos, or a credit card. Now, be warned, if the internet to the credit card machine is not working, then you've got to look for some other options to pay. But you can play with the credit card when you get there. My recommendation is get it on the app, take care of it beforehand, or once you land, and then next I would go ahead and just pay, or next I would use pesos. All right, now you're trying to get down from Cancun to Playa del Carmen. You're going to take the ADO bus. You've got your ticket. Recommendation is to have a jacket or something. Sometimes the buses are cold with the AC going. There is a place on the bus to plug in your cell phones if you need to get juice. Just got your cable, but there normally is juice on the phone. Trip is about an hour and a half, depending on the traffic and the number of people getting on at each of the different bus stops. And then once you get down to Playa, it's pretty much party on. All right, now I've had a really good weekend Playa. Had a good time hanging out. Good sun, beach was good. Most of the hotel pools, all that stuff was good. Gonna meet Trenise down in Belize now, so that means I've got to make way down. Same process. I went on to the ADO app, bought my ticket for Playa del Carmen, going down to Chetumal, Mexico. And basically, that trip was about, I guess, about 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours. And the cost of it was about 600 pesos. So my bus for Playa del Carmen down in Chetumal left out around 1:30 in the morning. Very easy to get over to the bus stop, and very few people were riding that time. I was surprised to find out the bus was full. Quite a few people were headed that way. So this trip again, about 4.5 hours, and cost wasn't too bad. Don't forget to take your jacket. All right, now that I've gotten on the ADL bus and I've made it to Chetumal, again about 4.5 hours, less than 600 pesos. Really good ride. Bus trip is pretty good. I came out of the bus station. Unfortunately, I didn't take any video of the bus station there in Chetumal. It is a taxi ride over to the ferry port, which took about 15 minutes. That taxi ride was pretty inexpensive, also, about 100 pesos, and I think I gave him about another 50 peso tip. Now, when I got to the ferry port, it was still quite early in the morning. It was still around 6:30. The ferry port doesn't open until 8. Fortunately, my driver was able to drop me off in front of the ferry port, and I just had to wait until they open. So here's some footage of the ferry port and some different pictures that I took when it was still dark, and then also as the sun came up. Terminal here in Chetumal to get over to San Pedro, Belize. Now let's talk about the ferry process that you need to get from Chetumal over to San Pedro, Belize, or Caye Caulker, depending on where you want to go in Belize. First step is, again, go to the website, get your ticket. This is very, very important if you're taking that ferry ride because, one, you want to make sure you have a seat, and then two, you don't want to have to worry about trying to buy your ticket once you get to the ferry port. Now, fortunately for me, I bought my ticket online. Everything was good. Had everything set up. Uh, Once you get to the ferry port, it is not going to open until 8 a.m. And then it's not going to leave until 10. However, you have to complete the purchase of your ticket by 9. Yes, you can purchase your ticket at the ferry port. Looked like they were taking credit cards or cash or pesos probably. I used the app, purchased my ticket. Only thing I had to do is check in. Just follow the rules when you get there. Again, make sure you're ready to go before 9. That you have a ticket and you have a seat. When I took it, the boat was not that full, but you never know how things can change. All right, so we're now getting ready to jump on the ferry to get over to Belize. Immigration wasn't too bad.
So here's my portion of my trip to Belize. So my day started at 3 o'clock a.m., bright and early, okay, to get these flights. Especially this was a last minute trip. So it was slim pickings. So this is the flight that I could find. And I got on my flight at 5 o'clock a.m. and it took off on schedule. Unfortunately, there was a medical emergency with one of the passengers. So we ended up turning around and going to the closest airport, which was Augusta, Georgia.
Right now, I am stuck on a Delta flight. My flight was scheduled to be in Atlanta by now, and we had to divert because of a medical emergency. So hopefully, I will catch my connecting flight and make it, or hopefully, be able to rebook me so I can get to Belize to catch the last ferry into San Pedro. Stay tuned.
We ended up sitting on some area of the airport for 2 hours while they got the poor passenger off the plane. We had to refuel, and they conducted an investigation into the incident. Of course, I missed my connecting flight. We finally left Augusta Airport to continue our flight to Atlanta. Delta rebooked my flight while we were in midair. So once we got off the plane, I took off running through the airport to get to my next gate before they closed the door, and I was the last one on. Now, mind you, I was very frustrated by this time, hungry, and concerned that I was going to miss my ferry, my shuttle, and my ferry once I got to Belize. Now, the ferry, when you get land, you take a shuttle over to the ferry, and the ferry over um, to San Pedro. And I have a link below of the ferry company that I use to do this trip to get over there. Now, they only have so many ferries per day, and I think there was like two left for that day. So if you don't make the shuttle to the ferry and the ferry over to San Pedro, you could be stuck in Belize City for the night. And I knew it just a little bit of research, and I know there were some areas in Belize City that were not very safe, so I did not want to spend a night there. So it's called Belize Water Taxi. Is the name of the company.
I finally arrived in Belize City. I caught the shuttle and made my ferry. The water taxi to San Pedro was about 1.5 hours. We used a local driver, George, and he picked me up from the water taxi with a board with my name on it. If you want to support a local, his information is below. Finally, we made it to San Pedro, Belize, the start of our anniversary trip. So it's a Sunday morning, and Kevin and I are up walking early. We just had breakfast at Estelle's. And we're walking down. I think this is the first street. There are only 3 streets in San Pedro. You have First Street, Middle Street, Back Street. So here's First Street. And if you look to your right, down this way, you see golf carts everywhere. And down this way, you go towards the beach. Good morning, everyone. We are on our way to Secret Beach here in Belize. So we're waiting for a driver. We actually found this driver through the accommodations where we're staying, and he's going to take us over to Secret Beach because we didn't want to fool with a golf cart. So we're going to go over there today and hang out, and then let you come along with us. And hopefully it will be a fantastic day. So far, we're enjoying our time here in Belize.
So now we're going to the not so secret beach.
Not so secret. So we made it to Secret Beach, and we're here now, and it's early, so it's about 10-ish local time, I think. Yeah, 10:45 local time, and it's empty, which I absolutely love. And so I think the seating, the guy when we first came in said it was first come, first serve. So I suggest, pro tip, if you're going to come, get here early so you can get a nice spot. But people are starting to trickle in, and I will update you as to how it's going. So this morning we're up early, well not really that early, walking through the streets of Belize. And fortunately, there are not a lot of sidewalks here. Good morning. And so, yeah, most people have golf carts, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of sidewalks here at all. So we have this resort here, a lot of resorts. So we'll go to the right. So this part actually has a little bit of a sidewalk. Good morning. Weather's not too bad. It's not too hot, but it's getting hot. Most of the times you have to walk in the streets when you're walking. On this trip, we decided to do a sunset cruise. I really enjoyed the one that we did in Cabo, so I wanted to do one here. It was a totally different vibe because it was a much smaller boat with about 10 people on it. They had a delicious dinner prepared by a chef. This was a much more intimate atmosphere, and we enjoyed it very much. So it took us a couple of days, but we finally realized the best way to walk in Belize is along the beach. Trying to walk on the street side is dusty and dirty, carts everywhere, and there's no sidewalk. No trip to Belize would be complete without savoring its delicious cuisine. From fresh seafood to delicious traditional dishes like rice and beans, the flavors of Belize are sure to tantalize your taste buds and leave you craving for more. Some of the places that we went to for breakfast were... So we usually only eat 2 meals a day. And so sometimes we have a light breakfast unless the breakfast is included. And so the one day we went to this French cafe and just delicious pastries there. Another place we went to, and this place is called The Baker, and they had homemade cinnamon rolls that were just fantastic. We also went to a place by the sea. It was called Estelle's. And it was a lot of locals, a lot of tourists were there, and they had a really good breakfast. And it was nice just being there next to the water. Very great customer service as well, and the prices were really good. We also checked out a cafe, and this cafe is called Green Espresso Coffee Shop, I believe, cafe bar. And it's on the middle street, I think it was. And it was pretty good food too. And I love the vibe inside of the restaurant. Now, one day for lunch, we did Palapa Bar and Grill. And it's more pub style food, so I can't say the food was amazing. But it's right there over the water. So that's what you're paying for, is the ambiance. It's really nice just there over the water. Just a fun, relaxed atmosphere there. Now, this one place we went to, oh my goodness, it's kind of pricey, but it was delicious and it's worth it. It's sort of like I would do it for a special treat, special day, our anniversary. So we went to Elvie's Kitchen. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. But the food was amazing, great atmosphere, and would definitely go back there again. Way to take a ferry over to Caye Caulker, and just want to give some final thoughts. So, Secret Beach, really enjoyed that. It was a fun day. We had a driver take us over there. We spent the day there. Just had a chance to relax and enjoy. Very beautiful, not so secret place to be, and I would definitely recommend it for a day trip. As far as Belize itself, it's a beautiful country. Really enjoyed being here, and it was a pleasant surprise. It was a last-minute trip. We had a great time, and looking forward to definitely coming back and spending time here. Some of the things I like, the people are friendly, food is fantastic, very laid back atmosphere. And of course, I love the beach, which is my favorite place to be. So this is beach person's paradise. So, and the wonderful thing is they speak English here. Very helpful, very friendly. Prices are good. And yeah, I'll definitely be back. So I've walked around Caye Caulker, and it's not a very big island, but it's so cute and people friendly, and I really like it a lot. I definitely plan on coming back here for a quick trip. And right now I'm just sitting out, looking out over the pier on the dock right here. And this is my view. So I'm sitting in these little wooden chairs at the hotel that I'm staying at, a little boutique hotel. And it's like right across the street is this little sitting area that they have here for you to look at. So very relaxing. It's a simply gorgeous day today. So we're only here for one day, but I would definitely like to come and spend several days here in this place. So, what did this spontaneous trip to Belize, last minute planned trip, cost us? So, it was a 10-day trip. This is including travel days to and from Belize. And for restaurants, it was $1,362. Activities, we did the sunset cruise, that was $200. Local transportation was $165, and that includes the having the driver take us over to Secret Beach. And then he took us a couple times around town too. The ferry shuttles around $268. Condo in San Pedro was $1,050. We really, really loved the condo itself, but because again, we broke our travel rules last minute, there was hardly anything left, and this is high season, so we broke two rules there. So the selection was not great. I didn't do a video of the place because I can't recommend it just because of the neighborhood. I didn't feel unsafe. It just was noisy. And I felt bad for the owner of the property because it was a beautiful property. There were other people there, and they had actually more units for sale. So the property itself was beautiful, but they just had this one noisy neighbor with dogs and making a lot of noise, music, and all of it. So it kind of ruined the experience, staying there. So I wouldn't stay there again. It didn't keep me from enjoying myself, but it definitely, I wouldn't recommend it, and which is a shame. Now, the hotel in Caye Caulker wasn't fancy. It was a boutique hotel, but it was right there on the water. Location was great, and I wish we could have found something similar to that over on San Pedro. But like I said, last minute, this is what you get. And I think that particular place, that may have been a cancellation that we got. So we spent one night there. That was $108. We used Delta to fly, and my portion going down, and then both of us going back. And then our fees were around $97. So what was the total amount? The total amount we spent for this trip was $3,250, which is $325 per day. This is definitely over our daily budget, which I kind of expected it would be because, again, you're putting together at the last minute. So we were over our daily budget, but we were under our budget for the month because we spent most of the month, of course, back home. And, I was also in Charlotte, some other places. So hopefully, we won't have many trips like this, but this was special. It was anniversary, and I don't regret it. I enjoyed it. And we will definitely go back especially if I can get an inexpensive flight. And one thing about Belize I didn't like, it was very dusty. And I talked with George, the driver, about that. And he said that it's better after the rainy season. So probably go after some of the it's been rained some, and it wouldn't be quite as dusty. I thought the weather was great, and that's probably why it's the high season. But I can imagine it could be very, very hot in the summer. So I would probably do low or shoulder. Well, I mean, low season would be summer. Would do shoulder season.
All right, so from my side, I think it's so important to know that they do take dollars. Belize money is the primary one, but it's usually 2 to 1. So $1 equals 2 dollars. But you can get ATMs here and able to pull Belize dollars out. Most of the restaurants are taking credit cards. There are a few that does not. So just keep in mind where you're at, as if they accept credit cards or cash only. Next, I would say within the area of San Pedro, if you are not able to really be mobile and walk, definitely rent a golf cart. But I would recommend getting a golf cart from someone in the city. If you're going through some of the hotels, they are doubling the price. So look for some of the golf cart rental companies. We did not use a golf cart while we were here, so we were walking the entire week. But depending on what you want to do, if you think you want to get around and move around a lot, I would recommend getting a golf cart if you're not mobile. If you are mobile, just suck it up and walk. Use the beach side to walk on primarily versus the city. Take care.
Yes, we broke a lot of rules. However, this will be an anniversary that we will truly remember. At the end of the day, that's what it's really all about. Besides, in most cases, we will stick to the rules because they allow us to travel as much as we do. So, hopefully, you enjoyed our video today. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully, by the time you see this video, we will be on a cruise on the deep blue sea. And I will definitely share that video of our trip. And so if you do leave a comment, it may take me a little while to respond until I can get off the ship in a week or two, couple weeks, and get to some Wi-Fi. But I will definitely read the comments and respond. So take care, everyone. Safe travels, and we will see you in the next video.